I'm a dog groomer. I take lots of photos of dogs all day to put on my Facebook and Instagram. It's my thing, if that makes sense. A cut and a photo with every appointment. I very seldom shoot things other than dogs, even if I have a nice setup. A friend got married a few days ago and wanting to save money asked if I shoot it for them. I told him it's not really my forte, but he convinced me by saying that he didn't care if they were perfect. They were on a shoestring budget and I agreed to shoot it for $250, which is nothing for a 10-hour event. On the day of, I'm driving around following the bride as she goes from appointment to appointment before the ceremony, taking photos all along the way. I shoot the ceremony itself, and during the reception, I'm shooting speeches and people mingling. I started around 11 in the morning and was due to finish around 7:30 p.m. Around 5 p.m., food is being served and I was told I cannot stop to eat because I need to be a photographer. In fact, they didn't save me a spot at any table. I'm getting tired and at this point, kind of regretting doing this for next to nothing. It's unbelievably hot, the venue is an old veterans legion and it's like 110 degrees Fahrenheit and there's no AC. I tell the groom that I need to take off for 20 minutes to get something to eat and drink. There's no open bar or anything. I can't even get a water and my 2 water bottles are long empty. He tells me I need to either be a photographer or leave without pay. With the heat, being hungry, being generally annoyed at the circumstances, I asked if he was sure and he said yes. So I deleted all the photos I took in front of him and took off saying I'm not his photographer anymore. If I was to be paid $250, honestly at that point, I would have paid $250 for just a glass of cold water and somewhere to sit for 5 minutes. They went on their honeymoon and have been off of all social media, but a lot of people have been posting on their wall asking about photos with 0 responses. Am I the asshole for deleting my friend's wedding photos in front of them? Comes over several times a week to get the house clean since my husband and I are busy with work. We have 2 kids, Jeremy 16 and Raya 14. Now Jeremy's a jokester. He likes pulling pranks on everyone in the house and that included the housekeeper. He did stuff like throw her purse and hide her wallet and he got punished for it and told not to do again because our housekeeper almost quit and we didn't want that. A few days ago, I got a call from Jeremy while he was having friends over to tell me that he saw the housekeeper sneak one of my jewelry into her purse and asked me to come home immediately. I freaked out and tried to call my husband but he didn't pick up. I went home and I was mad and I talked to the housekeeper and she denied putting anything in her purse. That's when I demanded to see her purse and my jewelry was in fact there. The housekeeper started swearing on her children that she didn't put it in there and that she had no idea how it got in there. I believed her and figured that Jeremy had something to do with it given his history. I switched my attention towards him and had him explain to me exactly how he saw our housekeeper do it. He told me what he saw, but a friend of his came forward and said that he saw Jeremy put the jewelry inside the lady's purse and was trying to get her in trouble. Jeremy yelled at his friend and then told me it was just one of his pranks, but I was furious. I kicked the rest of his friends who covered for him out and I punished him hard and apologized to the housekeeper. However, my husband reacted unexpectedly after he heard and said that I was wrong for choosing to believe the housekeeper over our son even though there was a witness, but he said his friend must have said this to get him in trouble or because the housekeeper paid him to side with her, which was shockingly absurd of him to say. He said I wasn't being a good mother and my first instinct is to always believe my son in whatever he says and never question him in front of his friends like that. I'm honestly so confused. Did I mess up? Am I the asshole for believing my housekeeper over my son? Too hard. My girlfriend and I were laying down on our bed and watching funny videos on YouTube. She was laughing hysterically at quite a few, so much so that it caused her to let one rip, fart, more than once. This was obviously not intentional, which made it both hilarious and adorable. After the 3rd time it happened, she said, "I'm really gassy." I took this opportunity to quickly press down on her stomach, which then almost immediately triggered an enormous fart. I completely lost it. It was so funny and I could feel the vibration as the pressure caused her to fart again and again. I couldn't help myself and kept doing it. This is how I fucked up. After a few successful attempts, I tried for a final push. I wanted to end it on a huge one. It was so funny and she was laughing so much. I pushed down and nothing. So I pushed again, but this time much harder. Now this is where I should know that she was wearing nothing but one of my t-shirts. Hence, she had no underwear on. On the last push, my girlfriend sharted. She sharted and then she had severe follow through all over our bed. It went from pure joy to absolute chaos and horror. She was just staring at me blankly like she had just killed someone. I didn't know what to do as she went quiet, my legs covered in shit. I stared right back, gently held her hands and walked her to the shower without looking back at our bed and down on my legs. We didn't say a word. I cleaned up my legs before leaving her to clean herself up. She made me promise not to go into the bedroom. I adore her completely. She looked so scared when I left her in the shower and wouldn't let me clean up despite my offering to do so. Eventually, I walked in the bedroom to help. She was so apologetic, although I assured her that it's completely fine. She burst out laughing when I said to her, "Don't worry, you'll always be my little shit." Go into our bedroom whenever she comes over. On one occasion, I followed her as she went upstairs. I was going to get something for my child as the bedrooms are upstairs, and she walked past the bedroom on the main floor and up the stairs behind it. She didn't hear me and I caught her walking straight into my room and rifling through bills on my dresser. She denied snooping, even though I had just watched her do it, and she said she was just going to use our bathroom because she couldn't find the other ones. She walked right past the one on the main floor and the other one in the upstairs hallway to go into our bedroom. Since that happened, I installed an exterior doorknob that requires a key on our bedroom door and one to the door to our office and spare bedroom. However, she's still always forgetting where the bathroom is and trying the bedroom and office door. This really ticks me off. My husband says that I just get annoyed at this because everything she does drives me crazy, and since we've put locks on the rooms we don't want her in, there really isn't a problem anymore. Well, over the holidays we had my in-laws over for dinner and before they came I was searching for the bedroom keys. We hadn't used them in a while since we only lock the doors when my mother-in-law comes over. My husband told me that we didn't need to lock the doors since she wouldn't try to get into the rooms, and I insisted that she would because she loves to snoop. We went back and forth and decided to cover the doorknobs in super fine glitter to see if she'd try them. I did this once before but my husband didn't believe me about that snooping to prove that she'd been in the rooms. Last time she ignored the glitter and we didn't say anything about it, but then my husband couldn't deny that she tried to snoop. So this time, I covered the knobs in glitter and for the office went a touch further and rigged a little folder of glitter over the door to the office before the in-laws came over. I left it one side unlocked, French doors, and it was set so if you walked into the room, you would get covered in glitter. My husband goes out of his way to show his mom the main floor bathroom when they got here and specifically ask his parents and sister not to go upstairs. There's a baby gate so the kids can't get upstairs either. Well, guess who had to go to the bathroom and got covered in glitter and had it all over their hands and hair? She completely lost it and started screaming at me, so I yelled back, and now my husband is saying I went too far and that I'm an asshole. My mother-in-law also says that I'm an asshole, but my sister-in-law says I didn't do anything wrong and my mother-in-law deserved it for snooping. My father-in-law is Switzerland. Apparently her car is ruined now too because it's covered in glitter that she can't get cleaned up. Am I the asshole for setting a glitter trap to catch my mother-in-law trying to snoop? Was complimenting my butthole. After lockdown ended in my country, there's been a huge sale at my local laser hair removal clinic, and so I thought, fuck it, I might as well go for it. I paid for my 10 visits and set out for the first one, a little nervous but excited for my new hairless body. Now, I decided it would be a great idea to get a full Brazilian, all the way down from the front to the back. Pretty normal, right? The lovely nurse comes in and gives me a brief heads up, explains how it all works sort of thing. When she comes back in, she decides that we're going to laser away the hair on my butthole first. All well and good, right? The instructions I've been given are, lay on your right side and use your left hand to pull up your bum cheek. So here I am, lying on my side, him pulling up my bum while this lady sticks a laser on my asshole. Now, on my left hand, I wear this gorgeous silver ring with a bright blue gem. It was handmade by my bestie's boyfriend, so it's pretty unique. So this lady saw my gorgeous ring and decided to break the awkward silence and said, "That's a cute ring you have there." And of course, I happened to forget that I was wearing the damn ring. It just made sense in my head that the nurse was complimenting the ring on my asshole. Yeah, I know. So, still on my side, I tell her, "Thank you, it'll be a lot nicer when it's hairless, lol." Cue the awkward laugh and then silence, until I realized that she was not, in fact, talking about my ass. We finished the rest of the appointment without speaking and I dashed out of there as soon as possible. I'm still recovering. I, 35, adopted my niece, 9, from my sister, 26. My parents have health issues and could not take her in, so I took the responsibility. I love my niece and I'll never blame her for my sister's mistakes, but unfortunately, it uprooted my life. It caused a significant sidetrack in my career. I've even had to turn down better job offers because they wouldn't allow me to stay close enough to home. My parents love my niece but could not take on the responsibility of caring for her, so I don't want to separate them. I had never planned to have children. I even had a boyfriend before I took in my niece, but he also didn't want to have children, and we made the decision to part when I took her in. We have never hid from my niece who her biological mother is, and even though the first few years of her life were hard, 3 years ago my sister started being in our lives again. She told me that she wishes for me to keep raising my niece because I have a better job and can afford it. My sister only has her GED and can hardly afford to keep herself afloat. She usually lives with her temporary boyfriend so she doesn't have to worry about paying for her own place. My sister acts like an aunt to her daughter, not like a mother, and my niece still loves her mother greatly. This past holiday we were at my parents to open presents and my sister gave my niece a present to open. It was a shirt that said, "I'm going to be a big sister," on it. We weren't sure what this meant, but my sister informed us that she was pregnant and that she wouldn't be able to keep it, and she was once again expecting me to take in the baby. My niece was so excited at the news and my parents were happy to hear that they were getting another grandchild, but I was just floored. I burst into tears immediately and I just walked out. My sister came in to talk to me and I told her that I wouldn't be able to take in the baby. I don't want a new baby. I love my niece, but raising her is enough responsibility already. My sister told me that I would be wrong not to take in my niece's brother. She didn't mean to get pregnant. Apparently she was on birth control and she doesn't know who the father is. My parents couldn't take on a baby either, so it's up to me. My sister told me that I should feel blessed, but I don't. When I told my parents and niece, they were all very upset, my niece especially. I don't know what to do, but I can't take in another baby. I know it's my niece's sibling and my sister's child, but it would completely ruin my life. Am I the asshole for refusing to take in my sister's baby after I took in her daughter?